Hi, it's Miles Red Songbird, the Michelle Bird Song in New York City. Okay, let's begin. Lucifer, Michael John Speer, Albert Speer, who was not trying to avenge Christ as Hitler had done, but who was a Nazi because he lusted after the power of Hitler to captivate the attention of so many people. He told me that many times. Lucifer wanted the power of God. Power. Decoded. Present. O-W-E for O, R for her. Present. O her. The power of God. Of goodness. Okay, this is what Lucifer wanted without doing the work to achieve the power. Had he continued to do 2.5 hours of meditation a day, and had he kept his vows to the Lord, Lucifer may have seen that he would be better off doing the right thing, but after 4 years, he stopped meditating, started smoking pot, thereby breaking 2 of his vows. Vows decoded. Victory, S-O-W, soul, Eve, energy, divine source. Okay, so the vow is showing a victory. Eve's energy, which is of the divine source. Yet, he was given another chance when his sister agreed to marry him. That's Eve, telling him that if we do our meditation and talk and share therapy, we'll be fine. Just as her first husband, Edwin, had been bullshitting, being deceptive. Lucifer had no intention of working, Edwin had no intention of working as hard as you have to work for as long as you have to focus to get $1 million. He and Michelle had said they won $1 million. She wanted the $1 million to bring her family out of poverty. He didn't even want the $1 million. He was just saying that to get in her panties. Michael, Lucifer, had no intention of resuming meditation and practicing talk and share righteously with T. Michelle. She had presumed he was sincere because he was on the path. She was not accepting, not comprehending that since he, sin, energy, choice. Oh God, his choice of energy is sin. Alright, so we got a word up here to decode. Chance. Her. C for sea. H for heaven. A-N for angel. Gabriel. N for entered. N for north. C for Carolina. E for event. Okay. Her C. Heaven's angel Gabriel entered North Carolina. Blessed event. Entered true. Daughter of the sun. I see willing energy. Gorinda. Eve. True Eve energy. Gorinda has gradually awakened me to see Michael John Speer is evil, is Lucifer. Okay? What is bullshit? Talk nonsense to someone, typically to be misleading or deceptive. Okay, that's what Michael did. He just called me 15 minutes ago to gossip about the children. Instead of him working, having money to help Melanie, he's just wants to talk about her. He knows I sent her some money, so I have information about her, and he wants the information about her, but he doesn't want to work for it. I didn't answer the phone. if you saw the last video, I'm free of him. Since he had broken, Lucifer had broken the vows for years. Year source. He was off the path of righteousness. Charan Singh, Jesus Christ said, "The Lord likes sincerity and humility." What a coincidence. So do I. Sincerity and humility. Charan Singh said there's no such thing as a coincidence. Sincerity. S for she, I for pleasure, N for N for North, C for Carolina, E for establishing. Her, pleasure, tie. Okay, let's put it all together and read it. She pleasure in North Carolina, establishing. Sincere, her pleasure tie. Okay, her pleasure tie is to tie the knot with Gurinder Singh Dhillon. And that's what she did. Establishing her, in North Carolina, establishing her as Gurinder Singh's #1 wife and mother-to-be of the child he put inside me. I whited it out without filling it back in. When last we spoke for a long time, a couple of days ago, I told Lucifer the truth. The path is over. Just as I told him before, it ended April 2018 when the Western American Salvador's volunteers, Nancy Gross, Linda Zatelli, Karen Jones, Fountain Jones, who is the son of Evelyn Jones, RN, now Aria Elizabeth Michelle in my womb, Munira Smith, who gave songs about the Trickster Mind, whose husband, Tony Smith, was Lou Reed's drummer, a Buddhist, compassionate teacher at Berklee School of Music who followed her to South songs all over. And at this South song, she sat in front and left him behind in the back with me. And Suzanne Kissing, suicidal. Roy Thomas, touchy-feely black guy who was dating Linda Zatelli with New York Sangam secretary at one time, and his passive daughter, and his possessive daughter, Jonathan, Daffy Nathanson, who mocked his sucker wives, as he called his two wives, Norma Nathanson and Susan Nathanson. Norma and Daffy had been married when he broke his vows with Susan, who presumably broke her vows of no sex out of wedlock. Michael John Spear Lucifer used to go to Daffy's loft when Norma was at work, and Eric, another Satsangi, gathered. They all gathered there to break vows, to sit around smoking pot. Daffy was the god of the white Westerners, Satsangis, because he lacked compassion. He would hurt anybody's feelings by exposing their blind sides as though they were evil and stupid. He humiliated people every chance he got, in other words. Shortly after Michelle and Michael John married, he surprised her by placing an ad in the Village Voice newspaper calling Michelle, call. The ad said, "Call Michelle for working through feelings." She was not happy with what he'd done with her process, now called Talk and Share. She said, "It's too new. I'm not that experienced." But she had to honor the people who saw the ad and called. She got a call from a white guy named Jeff. He had served in Vietnam. He was so far from himself, he was practically unconscious. She mirrored what he said, although most of what he said caused her to feel alarmed and full of fear. He said things like, I'm going to break your ass. I'm going to bomb your ass to high heavens. I'm going to slit your fucking throat. Obviously, thoughts he had before he carried out such deeds when he was in Vietnam. They were on the phone for hours at a time, Jeff and Michelle. He never paid her. Her friend Beverly Woodard, a West Indian heritage psychiatric nurse, who she used to do working with feelings with for hours, mostly on the phone, who also did not pay her, came to her apartment one day, saw she was on the phone with Jeff, saw that she did not look well, told Michelle to get off the phone. She could not. Jeff needed her to continue mirroring his thoughts and feelings from when he was in Vietnam in combat. She wound up having a nervous breakdown a few days later, hospitalized in Bellevue Psych Ward. She had gotten a call from a girl. Before she was hospitalized, she'd gotten a call from a girl who spoke what she was feeling as she masturbated. T. Michelle was disgusted. A white man in Erie started doing the same thing, masturbating on the phone, while she tried to be objective and helpful and mirror his words. He was the only one who paid her. He sent her a check for $25. Michael John Spear, Lucifer, who desperately wants to be famous, revealed to, hey, I was Lucifer's psychotherapist. He and I never promised anyone to keep our unpaid sessions secret. Michael John Lucifer was a declared homosexual. He confessed the night before our wedding, saying plainly, I'm homosexual. Frankly, I didn't believe him. He had tried to make love. I didn't realize that that phrase means to make a baby. Yes, to make love is to make a child. A child will love you, become you, lose their identity, whatever you are. Charan Singh said, we have conditioned free will. We don't choose our parents. Children are the dirt under the parents' feet. Michael John Spear Lucifer was a combination, this birth, this life, this incarnation, of his henpecked, irresponsible father, who ran away shortly after either their marriage or after Michael was born. Michael John tried to annul our marriage shortly after we were married. I was in hell with this guy, but I had thought I was in hell since I was 5 years old. The blind preacher, Elder Burton, yelled, burn in hell for eternity. The path of the masters that I was on. After I told Michael John in the text message that that was all I knew, remembering I had, wait a minute, this isn't making sense. Do I have my pages? That's page 13, yeah. Oh, I know what this is. I had a lot of things I had forgotten to mention, so I just made a page of the things I forgot. So let me just read it. I'll start down here. When he called me, he was so nervous he could barely get the sentence out. When you're trying to compete, when you're competing with God, that would make you nervous. I had on another occasion told Lucifer he was Sawan Singh. Then the last conversation I told him, Sawan Singh had taken Charan Singh from his mother when he was 5 years old. Michael John interrupted me and said, and his brother, he took his brother with him. He made Charan Singh suck the cum out of his dick. Michael John Spear, Lucifer, was silent, realizing he was Sawan Singh, and he had done that. Okay, what else did I write down? I told him the guru had married and impregnated me. He was silent. I told him to open his chakras. The path was over. I told him, Michael John Lucifer, about the grandkids' horrendous predicaments. They're in foster care, they're in, And then I texted. He can't get emails, he said. I ended this text saying, this is all I know, which meant don't call me to discuss this. You have no money to send Melanie, who, thank God, is not his biological daughter. I just found out I had created her with a classical music conductor named Isaiah Allen Jackson, who had been the prophet Isaiah in the Bible. Isaiah lived 700 years before Christ, yet he prophesied the coming of the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Isaiah the conductor came in Christ's wife's heart, and they made love. Melanie Lynn Spear. Okay, what else? After I told Michael John in the text message that was all I knew, remembering I had heard his unconscious admit that he is competing with me. After devoting myself to him for 2 lifetimes, I did not, for the first time ever, take his calls. He called 3 times. He can't help Melanie and the grandkids because he won't work, because I don't have a job. I'm living on Social Security pension, and he's living on a teacher's pension, which I helped him to get because I helped him to get the job, and then I helped him to go to work every day by doing talk and share with him so he'd be in his right mind. So he gets the teacher's pension and he gets Social Security pension because of me. So what else is there to talk about? Nothing. Now I find out during today's writing session that the karma between us is all over. Let's see. My new husband, Michael John Spear, under pressure. Unnerving. This is when he was my new husband. Lucifer made his face like Psycho, like Norman Bates. He loved not woman nor man. Baba G at energy of sovereign savior. Ring lie. Michael John Lucifer said he'd accidentally lost his wedding band shortly after we married, that it fell into the bathroom sink as he was washing his hands. He never bought another one. He wouldn't even wear a wedding band. Devolved. D for devil. D-E-V for devil. O for orders. L for will. Devil orders. Will of Lucifer. Okay. In accordance with fact. True is in accordance with fact or reality. Feel, account. Her energy, a willed pleasure tie. Her Eve energy, mother of the earth. Actuality. Actual pleasure tie. Factual pleasure tie. Actuality. A conscience, true. You a will pleasant tie. The present will of Eve as sure. Okay, Eve's will is sure. And I reminded Michael John Spear Lucifer in a recent and last phone call that it is my mission to tell the truth. Okay, that's all I can do now. I have to make one more video of this presentation. Thank you for watching.